Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to EF8 London Demo Day. Alice Bentink and I'm Matt Clifford. We're the co-founders of Entrepreneur First, and we're extremely excited to have you here today to meet the 14 teams that we have seen being built over the last 6 months. Particular welcome to those of you who are watching on the live stream. I know we have people in the Biscuit Factory, EF's office in London, and also over in Singapore. In fact, we're doing a late night screening in Singapore. We've seen a few pictures from there. It actually, frankly, looks a little bit more fun than here, which I apologize, but you lose some, you win some. We will kick off very shortly, but we wanted to very quickly tell you a little bit about what's been going on at EF over the last 6 months. As some of you might have seen, it's been a very exciting week for Entrepreneur First. On Monday, we announced that we've just raised a $12.4 million round led by Greylock Partners and Reid Hoffman. And woo! As part of that, Reid will be joining our board, which we're very excited about. I think Reid is one of the great entrepreneur investors of our age, and we're excited to see what we can achieve with his help. We're also excited to welcome his co-investors, Mosaic Ventures, who I think are here in the room today, Founders Fund, Lake Star, and some great angels, such as the founders of DeepMind, Demis and Mustafa. We may be perhaps most excited of all that we have 3 of our alumni investing in this round. Rob Bishop and Zihan Wang of Magic Pony, and also Brian Baum of Represent. It's quite astonishing to me and Alice to think that just a few years ago they were standing up here pitching to a room like this, and today they're able, thanks to what they built, to be able to invest back into EF. So hopefully some of the people that you see today will be in that position in a few years' time, and your funds will be all the better for it. Now, I just wanted to spend 2 minutes talking about why we've done this and what it's for. It's worth emphasizing that this is not a new fund. We're not going to use any of this money to invest in the companies that you see today or any of the alumni companies. In fact, this fund is entirely, this fundraise is entirely about expanding the EF mission. EF's mission is to build the world's most important companies by providing a new career path into entrepreneurship for the world's most ambitious people. We've been passionate about that since the very beginning. When Alice and I started EF 6 years ago, it was always about talent first. And everyone that you see here today, and we think this is the special thing about EF, did not join us with a company, but joined us as an individual, pre-team and often pre-idea. And we think that's really important because if you can turn individuals into companies, and I hope that after today you'll agree that they're not just companies, they're very exciting companies, that helps you to solve a really important problem. And that problem is that the world is missing out on some of its best founders. The founding thesis of EF is that if ambitious people grow up or kind of go to university or start their careers in ecosystems and economies where starting a company is abnormal, then they can often get trapped in career paths that don't allow them to fully amplify their ambitions. And that's why EF exists. EF exists to be the institution that can amplify their ambitions. Now, Alice and I started our career at McKinsey. We were management consultants. We often joke that we spent the first 3 years of EF apologizing for that. But given that we did, I thought you would forgive me one 2x2 matrix to try and explain the EF mission. So we're all about ambition at EF. If you don't think that the companies that you see today are ambitious, then we've got real problems, and so does the world. Now, there have always been institutions that exist to harness and amplify ambition. In fact, about 100 years ago, business schools emerged because individuals pursuing traditional careers needed a way of amplifying their ambitions. So places like Harvard Business School sprung up and have become extremely successful at playing that role in people's lives. But we believe, obviously, at EF, that traditional careers are not what the 21st century is going to be about. We believe that entrepreneurial careers are going to be where people make the most impact. And there are great world-class institutions that amplify the ambition of companies that have entrepreneurial ambitions. Places like Y Combinator that emerged last decade have done a phenomenal job of amplifying those ambitions. We think that Entrepreneur First is the missing part of the puzzle. Entrepreneur First is like you always want to be in any 2x2 matrix in the top right. It's the institution that exists to amplify the ambitions of individuals who want entrepreneurial careers. Everyone you see today joined us because they think that they can make a real impact in the world, and they think that technology entrepreneurship is the way to do it. And we're really excited about this next chapter of our growth and being able to take that mission to the world. Now, you're probably thinking, this is not why we came, we just want to meet the companies, so I'll shut up now. But I do want to just say a few thank yous before I hand over to Alice and the companies. The first is to our corporate partners. We are absolutely delighted to continue to work with Vitruvian Partners, our growth equity partner. They've had an amazing few months. A couple of months ago, they raised their new 2.4 billion euro fund, and we think that's a huge asset to the ecosystem to have a fund like that ready to invest in high growth, highly innovative companies. Also, we continue to work very closely with The Telegraph. In fact, The Telegraph, over the last 3 cohorts, has become an integral part of EF's company building process. Every cohort kicks off, in fact, even before the cohort join us, with a workshop at The Telegraph, and this is yielding some incredible results, and we're already seeing many of our alumni companies partnering very closely, becoming customers, or rather suppliers to The Telegraph. But perhaps the most important thank you today is to someone who's leaving us, Wendy Tan-White, who's sitting in the front row. Wendy joined us 2.5 years ago and has played an enormous role in building EF to what it is today. We're very sad to see her move on, but we're very excited that she's moving on to our friends at BGF Ventures, where we hope she'll be investing in lots of EF companies just on the other side of the table. We're also very pleased that she's leaving a pretty important asset at EF, which is her husband, Joe. And Joe is, as well as remaining a partner at EF, also becoming our CFO as we scale our mission globally. So we're delighted for Wendy's next step, and probably even more delighted that we get to keep Joe. I will now hand over to Alice, but we hope that you enjoy the show, and we look forward to getting your feedback and, more importantly, your checks at the end of the day. Do you need this?
Don't need it. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us here at King's Place. As Matt said, this afternoon is all about the companies, and we're very, very proud and pleased to share EF8 with you. So, as Matt said, EF8 joined us 6 months ago as individuals, pre-team, pre-idea. They were selected for their skills and for their founder potential. And I think you'll agree that we have not only some very exciting companies, but very, very exciting and strong talent behind those companies, exceptionally skilled technologists, some of the world's best domain experts. We have 14 companies pitching this afternoon, covering a wide range of industries and tackling some really big, meaty problems. We think this is our most ambitious cohort to date. We think this has some of the most exciting, outlandish, outlier ideas that we've ever produced. So we're very much looking forward to getting your feedback on them after this. A big thank you to EF8 for working with us over the last 6 months. Going through EF is not an easy process. As you can imagine, being thrown into a room of 80 other people and being told, find your co-founder, you have a week, isn't always that easy. But 8 weeks later, they're in teams. I want to thank them for their hard work, patience, and dedication over the last 6 months. Big thank you to the EF team as well for working alongside them and not only finding them, turning them into teams, turning them into companies, and getting them to the stage where they're ready for seed funding. And finally, a big thank you to our LPs, where none of this would be possible without you. A thank you in advance to all the seed investors in the audience who we look forward to investing alongside in the next couple of months. So, without further ado, we're going to get going. The way that this afternoon will work is we will have 7 pitches, we'll then have a 20-minute break, and then we will have 7 more pitches. Each of the pitches are only 3 or 4 minutes long, so it is short, sharp, and hopefully enough for you to go and find who you want to talk to after the pitches are done. One final thing, if you would like to tweet, we do have a hashtag. It is hashtag EF8, and the Wi-Fi is Entrepreneur First. Password is EF Demo Day, capital E, capital F, and capital Ds. Right. So, welcoming first to the stage, we have Alex from Metis Labs.